Hey there! In this video we are going to talk about past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous is the 8th tense on my 12 tense list. And it's a little bit more exciting than past perfect simple, merely because of the action being a continuous action. So, as we had in past perfect simple, we had two past actions, and in past perfect simple, the first action had already stopped before the second action in the past happened. Now with past perfect continuous, the deal is a little bit different because of the action being continuous, and I'm going to present this in 6 different uses. Now, the scheme for past perfect continuous is subject plus had been plus verb ing, and in the sentence we will have a past simple action also. Now, let me explain this to you. Subject, of course, every sentence has to have a subject. Had been will be the auxiliary verb. It's very important not to confuse this auxiliary verb with anything else. So in past perfect continuous we have had been as an auxiliary verb. Verb ing, obviously, because the action is continuous, and in the sentence the second action will be in past simple. Uses. First one. We use past perfect continuous to emphasize the duration of an action. The duration of an action that had been in progress up to a moment in the past or before another past event. So, here we don't have a second action, but we have a moment in the past or a past event. Now, let's see a moment in the past. A precise date. By 1987, he had been working in New York for 5 years. He had been working in New York for 5 years by 1987. First action, obviously, is he had been working. It's a continuous action. The duration of the action is 5 years, and it had been going on up till another past moment, not a past action. In the second case, we have a past event. He had been teaching for 35 years before he retired. Okay? The event, the past event, is that he retired. But before he retired, before this past event, he had been working for 35 years. Okay? The duration of the action is 35 years. Secondly, for an action, second use, of course, for an action whose duration caused results later in the past. When the kids came back from the park, their clothes were dirty. They had been playing in the mud for hours. Alright? So here we have for an action whose duration caused results later in the past. We have a result later in the past, not in the present. If you remember present perfect continuous, with present perfect continuous we have a result in the present, right? You can say your bike looks wonderful. Have you been cleaning it? The result is in the present. It's basically the same thing with past perfect continuous, but the result is in the past. And let's analyze these two sentences again. When the kids came back from the park, their clothes were dirty. Yes? The result is that their clothes were dirty. So it's in the past. The result is in the past. And the cause is that they had been playing in the mud for hours. If we had the same sentence that we mentioned with present perfect continuous, like your bike looks wonderful, have you been cleaning it? If we translated this to past perfect continuous, you could say your bike looked wonderful. Had you been cleaning it all day? Okay? Good. Third use. We use past perfect continuous to express the continuity of an action rather than its completed state. So the continuity is important here. It's not about the action being completed. This tense is used to show that an action begun before a given moment in the past or came very close up to the past moment. The adverbials here are by, for, since, how long. The subclauses of time are when, before, or after. Example, by that time he had been teaching us for 3 years. How long had you been living in Romania before you came here? So here the action's continuity is very important. Fourth use. To express a previous action whose result is still continuing at a given past moment, although the given past action itself has ceased. So, why did you feel exhausted? Because I had been working all day. Okay? So why did you feel exhausted? Because I had been working all day. This use is very, very similar with the second use, where we had a result caused by another past action. In this case, to express a previous action whose result is still continuing. So the slight difference is that with the second use, the result is something concrete, something stable. Your bike looked wonderful. Had you been cleaning it all day? Or the kids were dirty because they had been playing in the mud all day long. Here the result is still continuing. The person is exhausted. Exhausted meaning tired. Why did you feel exhausted? Because I had been working all day, right? Or why were you so happy? Because I had been spending the time outside on the sun all day long, right? So the result is not fixed, is not finished, is not closed, is not completed, it still continues. A repeated action, fifth use. A repeated action can sometimes be expressed as a continuous action, as past perfect continuous, instead of past perfect tense. So, I had tried to get you on the phone 3 times. I had tried to get you on the phone 3 times. I had tried will be past perfect simple. But here it has the same meaning if we use I had been trying to get you on the phone 3 times. We use past perfect continuous to express that the action was a repeated action. The meaning is similar. It's almost the same. but you use past perfect continuous to express that you had been repeating the same action over and over again. And the last use is the sixth use. Past perfect continuous is also used when from a certain point in the past the narrator or subject looks back on an earlier action or state. So, of course, you can use past perfect continuous, as obviously you can use past perfect simple, past simple and past continuous also, and basically every past tense in a narration in which the narrator points back to the past. So you will use past perfect continuous in this case also when the narrator speaks about his or her past. Well, this is all about past perfect continuous, and thank you for your attention. Blessings.